America, the drum is associated with entertainment. But in our cultural tradition, the drum holds a deeper, a much symbolic, a more historical meaning. Listen, as we pay homage to that significance of the drum. In healing ceremonies, rites of passage, warrior rituals, and social gatherings. The drum was even used to signal danger. You can say the drum, before there was even internet, radio, cell phones, texting, the drum was the first form of communication. Listen as it speaks to your soul. Speak, drum, speak. Speak as we stand on the shoulders of those who came before us. Speak, drum, speak as we honor those who gave so much for our future generations. Speak, drum, speak as they go to the rhythm of our very being. Speak, drum, speak. A child was born today, O Lord, and it fills my heart with joy as I gaze upon the beautiful face of this innocent baby boy. There's so much hope for this child, O Lord, when I think of the lives he might save, and a glorious day when he will be free, even though he's born a slave. He bears a weight on his shoulders, O Lord, the dreams of those he don't know. He will be loved and nurtured by all of us here as we watch this man-child grow. He grew into a man today, O Lord, but his years have been long and hard. His hands bears blisters and calluses, and his skin is scratched and scarred, but today he learned to read, O Lord, and oh, what a happy day. I think he might be that anointed one if we keep him out of Master's way. They chained him up today, O Lord, and they whipped him till he bled. And then they tied him to the old oak tree and they hanged him till he was dead. Our faith will never falter, Lord, even when they beat us down. We will lift our eyes to the heavens above before they put us in the ground. I know that day is coming, Lord. I just hope I'm around to see that day when you send your anointed one to help us all be free. A child was born today, O Lord, and it brought joy into my world as I gazed upon the innocent face of that beautiful baby girl. I was born by the river in a little tent. Sometime in 1820, a little black girl was born into slavery. God had a plan for his anointed one. Her name was Harriet Tubman. Oh, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. After being subjected to brutal whippings and witnessing cruel beatings of other slaves, Harriet Tubman escaped. She then helped to map out a secret route to freedom, which later became known as the Underground Railroad. She then returned to the very location that held her in bondage and proceeded to lead hundreds of other slaves to the freedom they so longed for. It's been a long, long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. And on January 1st, 1863, President Abraham Lincoln signed into law the Emancipation Proclamation, which abolished slavery forever. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. I don't know what's up there, yonder sky. But shortly after this proclamation was signed into law, groups of hatred were formed. Lynch mobs, the Night Riders, the Ku Klux Klan, whose main objective was to torture, harass, kill, all to instill fear in the newly freed slaves to keep them from ever thinking they could become equal American citizens. It's been a long, long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. But God had a plan for his anointed one. On January 15, 1929, a little black boy was born. He later became known as our very own Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He had a dream that one day this nation would rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I go to the movie and I go downtown. Somebody keeps telling me, don't hang around. But prejudice, segregation, and Jim Crow laws stood in the way of this dream becoming a reality. African Americans were denied service in restaurants and hotels. They were forced to sit in the high balconies of movie theaters and courtrooms. They were forced to sit in the back of buses. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. But through the tireless efforts, the strong leadership of Dr. King and the others who shared his dream, on July 2nd, 1964, the Civil Rights Act was signed into law, which did away with segregation and Jim Crow laws forever. Then I go to my brother and I say, brother, help me please. But he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. But even with the laws of the Voting Rights Act, African Americans, they were denied the right to vote. They were denied this right through unfair poll taxes and literacy tests. They were brutalized. They were terrorized. They were killed. All because they wanted to exercise their constitutional right to vote. There's been times when I thought I wouldn't last for long. But now I think I'm able to carry on. And 43 years after the Voting Rights Act was signed into law, an African-American man was voted as the primary presidential candidate for the Democratic Convention. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. In November 2008, that African-American man, Barack Hussein Obama, was elected to the highest office of this land, the President of these United States. He was voted for by African Americans more disrespect than any president should take. His enemies are near, always ready to attack, and he carries the weight of a nation on his back. But like his ancestors before him, he's just paving the way so that our children may walk the same path someday. Yes, it's been a long time coming, but please understand, this has been no coincidence for this black man. It was already written, so shall it be done, because God has a plan for his anointed one.